Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Video Game Choo Choo Podcast. It's me, John, and sorry about last week. We had audio issues, but those issues aren't going to be here this week because Solon isn't here this week.
Damn, you're just gonna throw him under the bus like that?
I mean, yes.
Alright, well, yeah, okay.
It's okay. It happens. It's been a while, but, like, look, it used to be me. Like, when we were first starting on this, I would be screwing up every, other week. So it's not that big of a deal. It's fine. It happens. Nobody's really torn up about it. It happens. It's fine. But with us this week is Tristan. Tristan,
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. The last 4 days has just been looking at the stock market, which I don't usually do, so.
I don't think a lot of us have, but it has been a real crash course, I feel, in the market. Real headache.
It's impressive, honestly, at this point. It's just impressive to see. It's so much is happening right now. I am surprised. I'm surprised that we're still talking about this and that this didn't last more than a day. But here we are. So
yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not someone who I'm not gonna pretend to know what the real ramifications of this is going to end up being. It's all very much up in the air. I'm not good. I don't feel like I'm informed enough to say that anything that happens because of this will be good or bad. I feel like it's going to probably just be really frustrating and annoying. But yeah, I mean, I guess we could just kind of jump right into that because at the end of the day, the thing that is at the center of all this is technically video games because it's GameStop. I think it's kind of impossible for us for you to not be in the know of this, I guess, but GameStop is smack dab in the middle of a historical event where a bunch of folks from Reddit's, I think it was Wall Street Bets subreddit.
Wall Street Bets.
Yeah, they mass bought shorted stocks
From what I understand, they bought a lot of shares in GameStop. I think I had heard, but I don't know if it's actually true, that it was off of some information that like somebody that like a lot of investors were shorting GameStop, and I don't know if they actually wanted to mess with it or if they just wanted to do something very counter to what the market was doing, but they wanted to mess things up by raising the share price of GameStop a lot. And since GameStop was it was like performing poorly, a lot of investors had been speculating on it, and they had shorted stocks. So what happened was when GameStop's price went way up, the opposite of what you want to happen when you short a stock happened, and anyone who shorted GameStop stock when this happened lost just like tons of money, because technically, like when you short a stock, you could technically lose, like mathematically, like infinite amounts of money, because technically there's no cap on how high something can go. But basically, since it went up so high, tons of people lost so much money just because like Wall Street Bets wanted to mess something up, which I'm impressed that all of Wall Street Bets actually like committed to that to the degree that they did, because it's kind of crazy now.
Yeah, it's this weird like come together moment of humanity where just a bunch of weird assholes on Reddit decided, hey, let's do this thing, and they're all holding on to like millions and millions of dollars, and it's basically just out of spite that they're still continuing to hold it. It's really going over my head, I would say. There's the whole thing with Robinhood and other such stock trading services. locking people out from buying GameStop stocks or cashing out and things like that. There was the little while that Discord shut down the server for Wall Street Bets, which, there's a sort of legitimacy to that in that, there are a bunch of Redditors that are using, like, really shitty language and probably posting some really gross memes in there, but also the fact that they're doing it now of all times is, like, doesn't look right. But then almost, I think a day after, Discord actually turned around and was like, no, actually, we're going to leave it open. We're just going to have, Discord help moderate it, which I guess is...
It was weird. Yeah.
I've never heard of a company like that doing something like that, but at the same time, that's a smart thing to do, honestly. I feel like...
it was the best they could have done. I think the Discord example specifically, I don't think we'll ever have, a real answer on, what happened there. Because at least, I don't know, it doesn't necessarily seem like Discord would be the, it doesn't seem necessarily like Discord would be the biggest concern, or would have the biggest concerns regarding this situation, and, nobody I know was reasonably saying that this was actual bad intent market manipulation prior. So I don't know where I would be very surprised if I would be surprised even if Discord did it to mess with the GameStop sort of thing, because it would be super weird. The only people I had heard saying that this was market manipulation were, some angry fat cats on CNBC who were angry they lost too much money. What I suspect probably happened was that, because I think Discord said that the Wall Street Bets Discord was on their radar for a while. What I suspect happened was a lot of people joined it, and then it through some sort of whatever their moderation algorithm is, or their moderation protocol, since it was both a subreddit or a Discord that was very controversial or somehow on their radar in terms of needing moderation, and the fact that it blew up in popularity, I think that was probably what caused it to what caused them to ban it. And I probably believe that it was because they were saying some weird shit in there, because Wall Street Bets, they say some things, but even I think the Wall Street Bets subreddit itself privated it itself, because the moderators were like, we aren't able to organize anything with a subreddit on this scale. We're not able to maintain this. We don't know what to do. So I think it could have been something like that, where it was the overnight popularity of a questionable account, a questionable server in Discord's eyes, probably contributed to that. But the Robinhood stuff, Robinhood and also I think E-Trade did limit transactions on GameStop as well, which is probably, that's really big if it's between Robinhood and E-Trade. Those, E-Trade is not trivial for people who are investing prior to when Robinhood came out. That was, I had heard about that quite frequently from that was the platform people used. And yeah, it's incredible how much Robinhood is digging themselves in the hole. People are finding, people found on Robinhood Learn, which is supposed to be their, I guess it's supposed to be their tutorial sort of information bank, for people to make it appear as if they're not, acting maliciously by taking uneducated people's money. But someone found the page on socialism in that site, and it's just a really a very more than any sort of cherry picked textbook definition of socialism. It cited Nazi Germany and current day China as examples of socialism, and while China's a little arguable, I think nobody is really arguing that Nazi Germany was ever actually socialist. And the only example that they provided of any sort of real impact on what socialism does was like the collapse of oil prices in Venezuela. Like that it was a very short article and only talked about like the worst possible things they could have talked about and didn't really, it was very, I sent it to people who are not like, who do not share my political beliefs, and they were like, what the hell is this? Like this, like, who thought this was what you should write in the socialism section? And so Robinhood's just like, it's very ironic, obviously, considering the fact that it's called Robinhood and their motto is like democratize finance for the masses or something, or democratize finance for all, which, you know, sounds like a fairly socialist sort of philosophy, but it's just like literally acting in the opposite direction in all possible ways.
Yeah, it's rough. Again, I don't know like how this is going to fall out. It's all very much in flux, but
literally, it's changing by the minute. As long as the markets are open, it's not open right now, but you know.
Mm-hmm. It's just, it's very funny hearing people talk about it. Like I stopped by a game store today, like not a GameStop, just like a game store, and just hearing people like chatting about GameStop stock. But they all sound like they're gonna strike it rich though, and I feel like the thing is that I think people need to realize that they're not going to. You know, like
the people who have struck it rich have already struck it rich. Like you know, it is far too late now to be to be looking into that as a real option. But I had seen a lot of people talking about like how like there was some tweet or something that said like, damn, you guys really proved that the system was broken in 3 days, which like that I think is the funniest and the biggest takeaway from this is that like this is showing to a lot of people, because like to a lot of people stock like stock markets and like exchanges and stuff are just like arcane. And so this just very easily proved to many people in the States that trading public companies and like a lot of what goes on with like the cronyism in Wall Street is just like garbage, and like really arbitrary stuff. So like I don't know. I don't think there's going to be many concrete, I guess, repercussions. The SEC apparently is looking into what is happening with like from what I understand, they're specifically looking into things now, given after the fact that Robinhood and E-Trade and all these other platforms have restricted trading. So maybe they could consider, you know, what's happening there. And technically speaking, I suppose they could come to some sort of judgment, but but you know, do I think this will have some lasting impact on like, you know, exchanges in the States? Probably not, but it has certainly pointed out how fragile and also weirdly glued together these things are by a few people with a lot of money.
Yeah. What do you know? It's all fake.
It's crazy. It's so impressive how many people are like, who are just like, that's all, like they buy, like they see it happening in front of them now, and they're like, oh, well, yeah, this shouldn't be happening. Like this shouldn't be like, this shouldn't be an issue. What do you mean a hedge fund can just be bailed out by other people? Like, what do you mean they just give each other money to keep each other afloat when they lose their bets? Like, in such a short amount of time, I've seen so many people just be like, oh yeah, this is bullshit. And it's like, it's impressive to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I guess we'll see.
Yep.
The real thing that I want to happen is I hope that GameStop gets some kind of money and then decides, you know what we need to do? We need to have retro games in store again. Because, listen, here's my concept. GameStop actually sells retro games for a pretty good price. Like, they sell them really cheap. The only problem is that When you order those games, the quality isn't consistent because you can't see them. So,
Yeah.
if GameStop were to expand their stores and bring in retro games and you could see them and look at them before you purchase them, that'll drive down prices in general because then people have to compete with GameStop. I want retro games to be cheaper. This is essential because it is just 100% because so many people are driving the prices up because fucking Metal Jesus or someone on YouTube is talking about some game. It drives the price up because you have to go to a mom and pop store and just pray that it's there, or go on eBay. And on eBay, everyone's driving the price up because they know they can get away with it. But GameStop doesn't care about that shit. They just want to get rid of their stock.
Yeah.
So I want GameStop to have their stuff in store again.
Yeah.
There needs to be something to drive the prices down. Because, you look at GameStop.com and you look at some of the retro games, there's some games that are expensive no matter what. But GameStop has better prices, though. If you look up a Pokemon game, if you look up Emerald or whatever, you can find Emerald on there for, $60. Anywhere else is, $100. But you don't know how nice that copy of Emerald's going to be.
Yeah, you don't. You don't know if the battery and the cartridges... Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's just it's a weird hope. I know. I don't want GameStop to succeed because I actually want them to make money. I just want retro games to not cost $300 million to own.
Yeah, I've seen a few posts. It's 2022 and I enter GameStop through the revolving door. The coat man at the door takes my coat. GameStop with waterfall marble counters and all this. The hypothetical 2022 GameStop after this surge in stock prices has spawned some pretty interesting ideas for what this means for GameStop. Imagine what did GameStop declare bankruptcy previously, or am I just thinking that?
I don't know if they've done it previously, but it's just it's one of those things where
they haven't. It's one of those things
particularly
well.
Yeah, people are just waiting for GameStop to die. They are doing very poorly, and that is why it became a meme stock. Not just because it's GameStop, but because they're doing so bad.
That's why it was being shorted in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason why they're still around is probably because the new consoles. Once the whole craze about the new consoles passes, they don't have anything to stand on. I have been in one of those stores, those fancy ass stores. It was when I was in California. I was visiting a friend in Cali, and his brother is because his family's well off, but his dad, his biological dad, he is not he doesn't like his biological dad, but his brother is still is still friendly with him, and so he has a ton of money on on hand basically because daddy just gets him whatever.
Yeah.
And so he was I want to go shopping for pants, and his brother drags us all the way down to fucking Hollywood, fucking Beverly Hills to buy clothes. And he's in his brother is in a rolled up sleeve button up shirt, dress pants, fucking super dressed up, and me and my friend are in shorts and t-shirt.
Oh, man.
And we walk into this place, and it is so awkward because he his brother is just absolutely ready to be served. Because when you walk in there,
they weren't.
When you walk in there, they serve you. They walk up and they're like, "Let us take your measurement, sir." All that shit.
Yeah.
And he's doing that. He's doing that. Not even thinking about it. Mm-hmm. My friend and I are standing there, and they walk up to us with fancy waters or something, and we're just you didn't have we're just you didn't have to do that, you know.
Just nod at all the clientele that usually is there. Oh man,
you could have just told us there were waters. We would have gotten them ourselves. Please don't do this. Don't do this. Uh, yeah, it's weird. The rich live in another fucking dimension, and that dimension shouldn't exist. All right, well, Tristan, it's been a really long time since you've been on here. I bet folks are wondering what you've been up to.
Not much. It's just been on and off a whole lot of shit. Rotating between like Call of Duty and some other games. Yeah, and like writing Game of the Year. Game of the Year has this is like the first organized Game of the Year that I've had here, and it's the first like sort of concerted team effort in organized writing that I've had with a group, and it's been interesting with you guys. It's been fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just, did our whole Game of the Year spiel. It's, as we're recording this, we're kind of in the middle of it, but by the time you hear it, it should be all over. Yeah, Game of the Year, it's tough. I would say that this year is probably the smoothest it's ever been, which is saying a lot. I know that the video team will probably want to strangle me for saying that, but, at the same time, honestly, like, I still kind of feel like it's going pretty well for them too, like it's tough, but everything's coming out. It's going up the night before, and it's ready. It's all good. I don't have any. I don't doubt the talents of the people making videos. It's not something I do, but I'm sure they'll do a fine job. Last year, I don't know. Last year wasn't really. It was kind of quiet, so I guess it makes sense that we didn't have. We didn't have as much. We didn't have that much passionate, crazy discussion about 10 different titles from each person. Yeah, it was kind of quiet last year. So yeah, I mean, since folks will be able to hear this after Game of the Year, we could kind of talk about spoilery stuff. Were there any, like, awards that you were surprised, like, things went to, or anything that you were particularly, like, excited to hear about, or, just anything about Game of the Year that was just surprising for you?
Let's see. I don't know. I was surprised. I don't know. I think it's very interesting. It's really, it's sort of difficult to have the way we do the categories of like best music and best sound. It's a little, it's always surprising to me what people take away from like video game music. And like the idea of like what's like, what people find is like fun to listen to, and then what people find is like, sort of like more, like textbooky or sort of functional music. It was kind of interesting seeing what everyone liked and like what everyone liked from this year about music and games. I thought it was interesting. What was it? There was that like Mad Rat Dead or something. I think that ended up winning. Yeah. That one was it was like really, it was interesting, and it was totally like took me by surprise. 'Cause yeah, it was very like, it was almost completely like something you would listen to, with it being like a rhythm platformer, with some added like sort of affectations to make it a little bit more fitting within the video game and like sort of lock it into step with the game, like with the like theremin stuff and the mouse noises and cat noises and stuff. So I thought that was a really interesting one, because everyone kind of came with like something. It wasn't just like everybody arguing for like the biggest, most expected game with like fancy or like overproduced music of the year. Like some people really came out with like games and like music that I had never considered, like that I just found really interesting. It was cool.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, I've done this like 8 times now, and I'm just glad that like over the years we've like matured and it's become more of something that we are being celebratory about, and it's less of a like I need to get mine in. It's more of a let's talk about this year.
Yeah.
Let's look over everything that came out this year.
I don't think I could tolerate that.
No, yeah, that was how it was a long time ago, but it's definitely not that anymore. Like something I'm really happy about is that we got 13 Sentinels for best presentation. That was a really well deserved award. It almost didn't happen, but like it felt good to like stop and be like, listen, no, we have to hear this out, and everyone gave it a shot. Heard about it, looked at it, and it was a fair shake. And again, like it was just a really good moment where. We all just kind of sat there and were like, yeah, no, we need to give this another go. And it was a good moment. It was a good moment for us to just sit down and think about what we're talking about and what we're trying to cover. So yeah, Game of the Year, it's all up there. You could just go to videogamechoochoo.com, and then in the search bar you could just type in GOTY 2020, and everything that we wrote for it will be available. You can look at my list, Tristan's list, everyone's list. We got our, site-wide lists going up. We got the videos. Make sure you check out the videos, because Solon, Walker, and Scott all worked on those, and they're all really, really well done. Very, very good videos. So they're professionally made. Like, every year I'm so amazed at how good those videos are. They turn, like, our narration and some clips into something that looks like, like IGN or, GameSpot will put out.
It's legit.
It's amazing, yeah. It's really great. So, yeah, since we kind of missed the episode last week, there's a lot of stuff that we gotta go over, it's kind of old news, but, let's have a little fun with it. I guess there's the kind of bad news, and then the like more interesting news that we can talk about real quick.
Sure.
So, Vicarious Visions, which is the folks that made that Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remake, winner of multiple awards by us, especially the Juicin Award. That they are not going to be making games for themselves anymore, because they got just shoved into Blizzard.
So have they been, what was, technically speaking, do they still exist as a studio? Or are they just now are they now like a nameless Blizzard team that replaced whatever that, I saw there was some discussion on that, where they're like now replacing another team. So there's no more, there is no more Vicarious Visions?
There is no more Vicarious Visions.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was that or if they were just going to be a subsidiary or something. Okay.
No. Yeah, like the former head of Vicarious Visions is now just like one of the leaders at Blizzard. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like the reason why this is happening is because they were working on a Diablo 2 remake, and now they also want the Diablo 4 team to be working on it, so now they're just moving in to like join them. So they're all working on it together. It's a little weird, because Vicarious Visions was doing some incredible remake stuff. Like, they brought Crash Bandicoot back, they brought Tony Hawk back, and now it's just like, well, now you gotta go work in the mines, and, like, I mean, they were, even then, they were still working on Diablo 2 remake, and, that would have been something, especially because, like, I don't know, like, people are so down on Diablo because of that mobile game, but Diablo 4 might have been good, and, like, people like Diablo 3, it launched kind of rough, but, they updated it, and now people really do enjoy Diablo 3. It's such a weird thing, like, why you would make them only work on Blizzard stuff from now on, like, once they're done with Diablo 2, what are they gonna do next?
Yeah. It is a little weird in that sense. Especially because they've been making a few remakes recently that have been like pretty big deal remakes. Yeah, it is weird. Like, what I wonder what was happening at Activision where they thought that they needed to integrate Vicarious Visions into the rest of Blizzard just over this Diablo 2 remake. Or maybe they're splitting time or something. And they need more resources on Diablo 4 or something, and that's actually, they want to do something like that. But it seems very weird to me as like it just seems very weird generally to decide that they wanted to totally, buy the studio just over this Diablo 2 remake. Although I suppose it might be, maybe some sort of distribution sort of deal, like they wanted to be able to control distribution. I'm not sure. Blizzard's been kind of like Blizzard as a studio that releases things wants to be very like monolithic. It seems like they definitely want to make use of the Blizzard launcher and the Blizzard client as beyond just like a literal launcher, but also as a storefront. They've been purposefully transitioning big Activision titles to Battle.net to be able to control everything, and it also saves them some money, I suppose. I would assume. So I wonder if it's like, is it like what is the grand scheme for Activision Blizzard in this for beyond like 5 years? Like, is it that big of a deal?
I mean, if I'm gonna guess that they're just gonna have them do this Diablo 2 remake and then just fire them.
How big is the team? Like,
it's pretty big. It was like 200 people.
Exactly. And so they could, but that would be
Activision.
Like,
it's
Activision's done that. Yeah. Like, yes. It is certainly not below Activision to do that. But I think I'm not sure about like firing the whole squad right after making this game.
That's what I think. I feel like that's 100% what's going to happen.
I don't see why not. Just even it's more resources for Blizzard. If Blizzard, at least Activision has been. For what it seems like with what has happened with the release of like COD, Activision's like subsidiary studios have really been on a strain for resources in terms of how they've been releasing games. So if they, and
that's because they keep firing them whenever they release a game.
Yeah, exactly. So if they're in. If now, they're in that sort of situation at Blizzard due to some, a philosophical organization of the company or something with how they're releasing stuff, maybe if it's not, why not just keep them? I guess it's more resources, but who knows? I'd never, I guess we'd never have the concrete answer, but seems pretty weird.
Mm. Well, I don't know. I guess we'll see how this goes, because it's it's really bizarre. I feel kind of bad because now we're probably not going to get a Tony Hawk 3 and 4, at least not by Vicarious Visions. But who knows how good that'll be? Probably not as good. It's a weird thing. They were in the Skylanders mines for years, and then they come out, they do some really cool stuff, and then they just get merged in to kind of go back into the mines, it feels like.
So they were on Skylanders. Okay, so they've been with probably close.
They've been with Activision for a long time.
For a long time. So
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's bizarre. It's all that. Here, I guess we can kind of get the other old frustrating bit of news out of the way.
Sure.
Dead by Daylight had a bit of a kerfluffle 2 weeks ago, where there was a developer on a stream who was being asked about a colorblind mode for the game, and he said that they were bored of people blabbing about colorblind mode, which is just like
yeah, just like I just watched that clip actually just before we started this, and yeah, I like as a like on a baseline level of like addressing the people who are playing your games, it's like ridiculous. And then on the other level of the fact that like you're telling people with color blindness to, you know, just, I don't know, stop complaining please because we're tired of hearing your legitimate problems. It's like it's there's so many layers to why that, like, it seems so easy to just not say that you're annoyed with the people playing your games on stream when you're being watched by the people playing your games. But who knows? I don't know. That's always something that I've had like a really weird time experiencing, is like when developers for a game will they'll have like an issue like that where it's a totally like normal, you know, some sort of issue that the community wants or needs, and they just totally just turn the community around and say, nah, get away from us, we don't want to hear about it anymore. It's, you know, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to me that it seems so easy to just not address that. And then it was truly perplexing to watch a representative of a game that seems to have a fairly enthusiastic community from the people I've interacted with who play Dead by Daylight, just like totally just shit on the audience. It was perplexing to me, especially considering the fact that, like, as I was watching the clip just now, I was thinking, man, imagine if this guy was a developer of a fighting game that didn't put rollback in the game, because he would be obviously different issues, but he would not be hearing the end of it, probably throw a fit. Just like, it's incredible. It's so weird to me, the idea of like developers, not as like a sort of like, studio must succumb to my will sort of thing, but as just like a baseline like courtesy between like the people who want to like give feedback to improve the game and people who are making the game, just totally just complain because they hear something too much. You know, clearly it's the community, and the community gets annoying and questionable sometimes. But if they're saying an issue's there, and they want it fixed, or in this case with Dead by Daylight, they need it fixed, you know, it might seem like it's just it might seem like it's just text on screen, I guess, but it's a legitimate problem to the people playing these games. So it's just that was so perplexing to me to see just what seems to be just the opposite of what you would want to do in that move ever.
So, yeah, that happened, and Steven Spawn from Able Gamers posted about it, and like an hour or two after that, the Dead by Daylight team responded and said, we didn't want to reveal it like this, but we are working on a colorblind mode, and it is releasing shortly, so we don't have like a time frame, but it does sound like they are working on it, and they have been working on it. And that's the thing, is that, like, if they really wanted people to stop asking about it, they could have just announced it.
Yeah, totally. That's the thing. I didn't actually know. So was that actually the first time they had mentioned that they were working on it?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, that's okay. That's another layer of bad to this. Okay. Just, I mean, very easy. Just, sure, they probably did have a plan to announce this in some sort of better fashion, and they wanted to keep it quiet. But, like, if this guy's just gonna go onto a stream on the internet and just and he wants to just, like, man, if there is that much strain on these developers by the community because they're being so annoying by asking for colorblind accessibility features in their game, like, and just dropping it like that to circumvent all the companies, the studios, you know, just plans for their interaction with the community like this is just worse than a dropped ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's real dumb. It is real dumb.
Yeah. Man.
And then I guess the last bit of stuff that we could talk about from last week is the Resident Evil Village stuff.
Yeah.
So there was that Resident Evil Village reveal thing that truly changed the world, I would say.
Yeah.
So I guess we can get the more general stuff out of the way first. They talked about the gameplay. They showed some actual combat. You know, Ethan's back, the guy from RE7. You know, it's a first-person game. You can block now, which is revolutionary. Some real changes to that. There is a Resident Evil 4 style inventory and a merchant who is a big dude in like a rolling store called the Duke.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. He's got a bunch of garlic in his store though, which I guess is going to keep him from the vampires because you're fighting vampires.
Oh man.
Which I guess then my question is why doesn't Ethan just buy some garlic from the Duke?
You know, you think he can buy like a wooden stake or something? Like,
yeah, what's he doing?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's really there's not really any zombies in here. It looks more like werewolves and vampires and stuff like that. That just seems like the kind of thing that's going around in here. Let's see, what else? I guess that's kind of it that they've revealed. Oh, they did give the release date. It's coming out in May. What's the specific day? May 7th. And they did confirm that it is getting last gen versions as well, so PS4 and Xbox One. If you do buy the PS4 or Xbox One versions, you can upgrade it for free to the PS5 or Series X version, or Series S, I guess, you know, whatever works for you. Which, you know, that's nice. They also announced some, like, special bonus, like, versions and a deluxe pack that will have Resident Evil 7 built in. You know, stuff like that, pre-order bonuses, all that jazz. And they also had a demo of the game that was PS5 exclusive. I did play through that demo. It's, you know, I mean, you can watch any game on YouTube. I'm not, you know, it's not like just watching a game on YouTube is different than playing it, but I do really think that you could just watch a playthrough of it on YouTube. It is like 10 minutes. It is not worth getting all up, hullabaloo about. You just play as, like, one of the maids of the castle who's trying to escape from, like, the dungeon, and there's some puzzles that you can do, and you have to run away from the vampire girls, and then at the end, the big, tall, sexy vampire lady catches you and stabs you, and that's it. And I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what everyone took away from this game.
That's all I'm hearing
big,
about
tall,
this
big
game.
titty.
Yeah.
Yeah, big, tall, big titty vampire mom character. It's just, like, literally a mom because the other vampires are, like, her daughters.
Yeah, don't they...
Her name is...
I saw they all... Don't all of the other vampires... They all look the same, don't they? I thought I saw some, like, art or, like, a clip where she's surrounded by... Like, you know, you see... I don't know what... I watched a playthrough of it. I didn't... Mm-hmm. I don't know if the other vampire that's, like, terrorizing you at the end has a name, but it looks like they all look like her.
I mean, they're all her daughters, so they do look kind of like her, but, yeah, the big lady is, Lady Dimitrescu, I guess, is her name. And, you know, they haven't really gone into, like, why Ethan is there per se. It just seems like Chris Redfield drags him over there for some reason. I don't know. It's all over the place. They haven't really revealed too much. It's very mysterious. But what isn't mysterious is that everyone on Twitter and everywhere else is extremely horny for Lady Dimitrescu. And I mean, I kind of get it. I think Rose described her best during the episode that we lost. Where she said she does kind of look like a woman that would argue about a price at a restaurant really loudly and hold up a line. So
that's the first I've heard of that one, but okay.
I mean, I also get it. She's hot. I get it. She's going to turn into a crazy evil monster at the end of that game, and that's even hotter. So,
it's not going to stop anyone on the internet already.
No.
We've seen this happen before.
No.
I do think I'm not a huge Resident Evil fan, but I do think that it was super interesting. I watched some gameplay of it, and it's the tone of it seemed so weird, because it really. There were definitely parts. I'm pretty easily scared, which is why I tend to avoid. I avoided Resident Evil 7 because it seemed far too scary for my tastes. But there were parts in the demo where it was oh yeah, this is pretty scary. But then the tone, I don't know. I suppose this was titled as just a visual demo or something, right? I don't think this was titled as a demo. I think it had a funny name. The
demo has no combat, so it's not actually
it's not
how the game will be.
Yeah. But the tone was it was weird. I don't know. It was super strange because at first I didn't really buy the idea that I saw the game and I was like, okay, yeah, she's an 8-foot tall vampire that's gonna turn into a monster. Whatever. And then I watched gameplay of it, and the tone of the encounter where where the other one's chasing her around the house, and then you open the door and she's there and she stabs you. It's it was so it was building up to that, and then that was such it was so weird. It felt like they were playing into it, and it's just so strange. The game, since we know so little about it, obviously, it's a very interesting way to kick off the first impression of the game, and it seems like it was fairly intentional. It seems very I don't know. It seems to have sort of a not so much jocular, not so much tongue in cheek, but how it's a different sort of. It's a very different sort of take on horror, I guess, and it's very. It's interesting to see what the rest of this develops into. Beyond just vampire house, beyond the immediately just sexy vampire house, what is this gonna be?
Yeah. I definitely want to see more. I do want to play through 7 before 8 comes out. I too am a scaredy cat, so it might be a little tough, but I'll get over it so I can play 8. Because it does feel like 8 is maybe taking a lot of notes from 4, and I mean 4 is one of my favorite games ever. One of the best games of all time, I will always say. So, who knows? And then there's all those rumors about the 4 remake that everyone's worried about. Yeah. So, we'll see how that shakes out. But, the other stuff that they talked about, they showed that, that there's going to be some Netflix animated Resident Evil movie, which those are always really stupid. All the animated films, they're just dumb action movies that have just the dumbest possible fight scenes. I'm sure you've seen that clip of, I think it's Chris and some other guy just having a fist fight but with guns.
I have not. I don't actually know much about that.
Yeah, that's just what all of those movies are like. It's just a bunch of dumbass scenes of people shooting at each other, and zombies show up, and...
Oh, are we talking about the Resident Evil movies in general, or are we talking about the genre of Netflix animated action movies?
I mean specifically the Resident Evil animated movies, the Resident Evil ones. Yeah, because I think this is the first one that's going to Netflix specifically.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been like 5 of those Resident Evil movies that are animated, you know, like not even thinking about the like actual Resident Evil like live action films, which also are very funny in their own way.
Yeah.
And there's also that Resident Evil Reverse game, which is that it's going to be the multiplayer aspect of Village, where it's like a combat game, you're running around an arena and you play as like the heroes. So it's like Chris and Jill and Leon and Claire all shooting at each other, and then you turn into the villains. So you'll just like turn into Jack from Resident Evil 7 or Nemesis or like stuff like that. And it just seems very strange. And I don't know. I guess we'll see more of that. I mean, it's going to be free when you get Resident Evil Village, so you know, not really. I'll try it. I don't know.
I guess, you know.
But yeah, that's what they have announced so far for Resident Evil Village. We will probably see more of it before May, because they did say that there was going to be another demo, and that demo is going to be available in general, not just on PS5. And, you know, I'm sure they're going to want to ride the wave of horniness for the vampire lady, so they're just going to be like, hey, here's some more like promo shots of her.
Will they, though? That's the thing. How long is this going to keep up? Is the whole game going to be like this? That's going to be a weird Resident Evil 8.
I mean, I don't think the game itself is going to be like, alright, well, we, like...
like, is the game itself going to be you running around the house getting chased by people who are supposed to be scary but are actually just, like, sexy? Like, what's the...
I don't think it's gonna be like that, you know. I don't think it's not gonna be like all those memes that people are making where it's like, you know, like, oh, I'm running away from her, tee-hee-hee, and they're like,
yeah, because that's how it's incredible. That's exactly how that last like 5 minutes of gameplay felt. It was very awkward. It was extremely funny. I was like totally confused by it, but it was yeah, it's so funny. How long are they going to keep this up? What's this going to play into the regular, you know, is there going to be a broader tone to the game? Is it going to play into that sort of?
I think it'll be a bit more serious than that. You know, there's all the werewolf enemies, and there's a whole village, you know? There's a whole village.
Yeah, I think you hear a werewolf or something in the beginning of the...
Oh, they show werewolves. They show werewolves in the trailer.
Do they?
So,
okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and that was pretty crazy, so yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, I don't know, maybe Resident Evil 9 will just be... They'll just give up and be like, alright, well, this is just gonna be, like, one of those... it's gonna be one of those, like, hentai games where...
It's a Resident Evil dating sim.
You don't want to lose, but wink, wink, when you get... You know, you get caught. You know, it'll be... Yeah, it's just gonna be one of those, you know?
Oh, jeez.
I don't know. Alright, well, I've been leading it a bit. Tristan, you have something on your docket. Is there something you want to bring up here?
I mean, the Maximilian dude hosted a UMVC3 tournament recently, a few weeks ago, called UMVC3 Lives, and it was a big Twitch Rivals sort of event that was hosted on his channel and then, you know, obviously streamed on all the others like Twitch Rivals likes to do. And now they're doing another one for Killer Instinct called KI Lives. And it's going to be the same deal. So it's going to be like I think it was a 32-man bracket of like notable Killer Instinct like community members and players. And it has Sajam and some others commentating the event with Maximilian. And I'm glad there's another Lives event, I suppose. I'm glad that Twitch Rivals is doing another thing with Maximilian dude to try and bring a spotlight to like interesting games that the FGC has been playing, because KI has been around. It's been around for a very long time, and people have always talked about how good the online is. So it gives it a good chance to, the only games we can play are online right now, so it's a good chance to show it off. And I don't know, it's interesting because I didn't expect us to have a first Twitch Rivals fighting game focused event. So it's just neat to see the second version, to see that Twitch wasn't just messing around with it, and it's a serious sort of thing they want to do.
I've been seeing some pretty interesting, like, official tournaments lately. Mm-hmm. Like, there was that, like, I don't know why, but PlayStation keeps hosting.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if I don't know if it's just one tournament.
Let me just. Yeah, it's a.
They keep doing tournaments for cross tag battle.
Yeah, they were doing those tournaments. They did a lot of tournaments for cross tag battle, but recently they did. It's called like PlayStation like Replay or something. They're doing like a organized It was FGC Arcade. It's happening on February 5th. Let me double check here. It seems to be like a conglomeration of tournaments or like exhibition matches. Yeah, it's exhibition matches. So it's exhibition matches for MK11, Under Night, Soul Calibur 6, and Blaze Blue Cross Tag. And they're doing like the Sony stuff was always super. It seemed weird to me, like the idea of like hardware first parties having like supporting tournaments online is not what I expected to be like a big thing that they would try and get in touch with the community for. But like it's being hosted by like people who are like riding hard for the MK11 community and like people who like care about these games a lot, and the players as far as I saw, the players were like legit like players I would want to see in these games. So it was nice to see that as well.
It's cool.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, like it's a tough time for the FGC right now. You know, everyone wants to be playing at locals or going to big tournaments, and they can't do that. And like, you know, even as someone who's like casually into it, it's like, you know, CEO and CEO Taku didn't happen last year, and like I'm itching. I want to go back. I want to go watch some shit.
Yeah, right?
I want to go play some game. I want to go play fucking Fate Unlimited Code or whatever in a corner of a room with people that I don't know. You know, like,
yeah. Definitely. It's been weird, especially like a lot of last year was spent and nobody's been playing normal games. Everyone's been playing whatever game they can that has okay netcode or playable netcode. And so like we've had a lot of like weird stuff happening. Like the the Marvel community like made, I mean, they didn't literally make netcode, but they made with what they could use an online infrastructure that was better than the old delay netcode that Capcom had shipped with Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and that led to a huge revival in that game. Like people realized, oh, we could just play this game now, cool. And KI also has extremely good like netcode that keeps the game sustainable now, because as long as there are some people online, you can probably connect to them from pretty far away. So everyone's been kind of switching it up, and the call for action has kind of just been like, you know, we can only play the games that have tolerable online experiences, and now these ancient games are getting publicity, and it's interesting. It's cool.
My only question is, I'm sitting here and I'm waiting for that BB project or whatever that studio is called.
Oh no!
When's the next Melty? No. When's Melty? Come on, let's go.
Well, after are you referring to Blaze Blue Dark War, the mobile game? You're hoping something's gonna follow that up for Melty?
No, I'm talking about. No. There's that studio that came up recently that was like only going to be making Fate games. So I want and so like some of the games are games that they're like actively working on, and some of them are being published by them. And so I'm just waiting for them to be like, all right, come on, fucking French bread, y'all are done with Under Night. come back over here. Let's do Melty. We got to do Melty Blood 2. That's what it's just got to be called. Melty Blood 2. This time it's meltier. It's fucking time. They got to do, or at the very least, port it to Switch. Just port it to Switch. Be like, you can really play it anywhere.
Yeah.
Let's go. Melty Blood tournament in front of the Eiffel Tower again. Yep. Let's do it. I'm ready. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so there was some news about some games that are that were never officially released, but are now going to be out in the wild. So first off, there was last week there was some news about an early version of Ocarina of Time. I didn't keep up with it that much, but it sounds like it was on like an F-Zero dev cart that they also had Ocarina of Time files on there, and so there's a bunch of information from like early Ocarina of Time design, and it doesn't sound like they revealed too much, but it was still neat to see.
Yeah, I think I saw a little bit about that one, actually.
And so there's also two more big things that like just came out. First off is if you're aware of such games as NBA Jam or NFL Blitz, you'll know that, Midway made a bunch of like arcadey sports games that were just completely off the wall. Followed the rules of the game per se, but were very much just, over the top and wild while still having the official players. A lot of folks were, surprised that they never made a baseball version of that. They also made, there was the WWF, fighting game, and they had their hockey game as well.
Yep.
But... yeah, there was never a baseball one, which was, very surprising. But finally, after years and years and years, the Video Game History Foundation have somehow gotten their hands on I don't know how finished it is, but it is playable. A playable version of their baseball game that was going to be an arcade game, Power Up Baseball. Yeah, there's a YouTube video. And there was also Waypoint, the Vice website about games, also did a whole episode talking to the Video Game History Foundation about saving this game. It was the programmer Chris Oberth had one copy of the game just sitting on a CD in his basement.
Wow.
The CD just says baseball on it.
It's time to play baseball too.
Yeah, people don't know exactly how much is there and all that. I guess there's still some stuff that's not 100% complete. But there's files. It's playable. It's there. And it would have been gone forever if they didn't save it. There's a cabinet that didn't have anything in it that exists, but they actually worked with the developers to get it to work on the original cabinet that they got made. So there exists a Power Up Baseball cabinet, because originally they made the cabinet, and then since the game never came out, they just turned it into a Golden Tee golf cabinet, but it's been restored and it works now. So it exists. And you can even download the ROM now. It's available on GameHistory.org. You can run it on MAME, and you can even make an arcade board for it. So if you want to just build your own cabinet for this game, you can do that.
Secret baseball.
Yeah, it was saved from just disappearing off the face of the earth. So that is incredible. And then the second thing that that has come to pass is the long rumored. I guess it wasn't rumored. I guess it was confirmed that this was made, but it got canceled. Mm-hmm. The canceled GoldenEye 007 full remake, which there were some remakes of GoldenEye later on that it took creative liberties. Were not one-to-one remakes. It was an action. They were like new games basically that had the GoldenEye name. Those did come out, but an actual just one-to-one up-resed new graphics and not much else remake was in the process being made for Xbox Live Arcade, and it got canceled, but it exists now. There is a full long play on YouTube if you want to check it out. It's fully playable. You can play through the whole game. Apparently it is going to be released sometime this year. Not in like an official way. It's just going to get put up somewhere, I guess. And apparently also the story of why it was canceled will also be revealed in due time. The person who posted the long play just said, like, be patient, more information will be coming, you'll be able to play this. So, yeah, the GoldenEye remake, it's real, it's out there. You can watch a whole game of it, and you can play it soon, I guess. Okay, I feel like I've been dancing around this last thing that I have written down because it's... Folks, I did play one thing this past week that wasn't just, I played a little bit of Yakuza 7, I played a little bit, like... If there's one thing I can sit down and talk to you about, it is the demo of Balan Wonderworld. Do you know what Balan Wonderworld is, Tristan?
No. I saw it was like a platformer. It looks kind of... I think... it was developed by people who made Knights or something?
Yeah, it's a Yuji Naka game who, was involved with Sonic and Knights and Billy Hatcher and, a lot of those, like, weird Dreamcast, GameCube, PS2 era platformers that Sega was putting out back then. So this feels like it's something that Yuji Naka probably wanted to make back then. But this game is insane. It is unbelievable that a game like this is coming out in 2021. You play as a child of some sort. You can kind of choose your skin tone and gender at the beginning. You could be a boy or a girl. And the game starts out and you're at the park breakdancing.
Okay.
And then you get sad and walk away for some reason when people start to walk up to you. Because you are good at breakdancing and they want to tell you that you're good at breakdancing. But then you get sad and walk away. And then you walk up to a building and it's where Balan is. And Balan is this, like, fucked up jester-looking motherfucker that looks like Knights but isn't really. Mm-hmm. And he brings you into a new world and you have to try to, I guess, help people with their problems.
Oh.
And it's... The game kind of plays like shit. Every button does the same thing. You walk around. There's two buttons in this game. There are two buttons in this game. You can walk, and there's like an interact button. And the interact button will, do things that are maybe context sensitive, like, I don't know, throw an item. But most of the time, it's just jump. Mm. And then you can also pick up costumes. And then when you wear a costume, it gives you an ability, and that's just the ability. And that replaces jump. Mm. So you go around this world. You get costumes that do different things. The costumes were Tornado Wolf, which you just turn into a tornado for a second. You spring upwards, you turn into a tornado. There was one that was like a hare, like a rabbit, and it let you like do like a flutter jump. There was a flower, which if you remember Mario Odyssey, those like seeds where you could like stretch up. and then when you let go of the button, you kind of flick yourself up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
It's just that.
Mm-hmm.
There was Pound Pig, which is just a pig that does a butt pound.
All right.
And then there was like a dragon that could shoot fire. And it plays like it works, but it's so janky. And I mean, it's got that Dreamcast jank. I think it has a little too much Dreamcast jank. But there's some people that like Dreamcast jank that'll probably like this. But
so why did you spend so much time playing it? What's?
So it was a demo, okay?
Yeah.
I just wanted to play through the demo, and it was 2 levels. The demo was 2 levels. I didn't play that much. It sounds like a lot because they put a lot into this demo.
Okay.
And as you're walking around, you're collecting statues of Balan, and that fills up a train meter.
Okay.
And you have to get 8 statues to ride the train, I guess? And then you can also find hats floating around, and when you touch the hat, it turns into a Balan bout, in which you play as Balan, but all it is just a QuickTime event. And so you're just trying to press X at a certain point. And that's all it is. It's a Balan bout, though. You get to play as Balan.
Okay.
And so I finished both of the levels, and at the end of the second level, one last two more things that I guess I should mention. As you're walking around the worlds that you're entering in, I think they're trying to make it feel like it's maybe like unfolding like a page of a book or something, but it just, as you walk forward, the world like unfurls in front of you, and then behind you it recurls back up. So it's very disorienting. Like it's constantly like you're walking in like a cylinder or something. It feels like you're walking up a cylinder constantly.
Okay.
It's so bizarre. It's so disorienting. I feel like someone's gonna get sick playing this game. And then the other thing is, for some reason, there's there's the costumes that you're wearing are based on animals. And as you walk around the level, you'll see the animals just standing around in the environment, just dancing, just doing like a canned dance animation over and over. And when you get close to them, they disappear.
Okay. All right.
So you get to the end of the second level, and it shows a cutscene of a farmer. And I keep forgetting things to mention because it's so dense. There's so much shit. The whole level is... They make it seem like a farm level, but it's just corn. There's just corn everywhere. All over this level. So you get to the end of the second level, and there's a farmer, and he's tending to his corn crop. You know, it's just like this cutscene of him, like using a wheelbarrow, planting the seeds, making sure he's doing all that. And then a storm rolls through, and it destroys all of his crops. And he's sad. He's miserable. And then some monster shows up and touches his back with, like, a tentacle, and he turns into a giant monster.
Okay.
So you have to fight this giant... You have to fight this giant monster, and it's an extremely easy fight. You just have to, like, dodge some attacks, and you just hit him with the tornado, like, 3 times.
Okay.
Then after you do that, you save the farmer, you shake his hand, and then there's, like, a Shrek 2 dance party with you, the farmer, and all the animals.
Okay, yeah. So what is it... So why do you do you like the game? Because it sounds so far like you've got a pretty mixed reception to this game.
I kind of love it.
Just like what? Like visually? Like it seems weird. Like
so, I don't like the gameplay.
Yeah.
I don't care about how it looks, but it is so fucking stupid.
Like, it's just...
That...
Yeah, continue.
I don't want to buy it when it's new. I'm going to wait until this game is like $10 because nobody's going to buy this shit. Nobody's going to care about this. This is going to go over like a rock. It's just going to... So in like 4 months when this game is $10, I'm going to go out and buy it and I'm going to stream it and I'm going to laugh my ass off. That is just what's going to happen. It is...
Okay.
It is so dumb. But they showed a trailer. They showed a trailer a few months ago that was a little girl going scuba diving, and she had, like, a dolphin friend.
Okay.
And they're, like, playing and laughing and having a great time. And then out of nowhere, the dolphin slams into her and sends her into the abyss. With like, what the fuck is going on with this game?
So it's not because this is a masterpiece.
No, it's insane. I need to play this game, but I need to play it because it is like this special kind of shitty where it's like it's playable. Like it's not god awful to play. I'm not having a particularly good time with it, but it's not like it's like buggy and messed up and like difficult to play. It's just stupid. It is this harmless turn off your brain stupid that like, we haven't had a game like that in so long, you know? Like, this is the kind of thing that will come out on, like, the PS2. And people would, like, it's been so long that something like this has come out, and, like, I need to play it, but I don't want to spend $60 on it. I need to wait until it's super cheap, and I'll just buy it and fuck around with it, and it's gonna be a blast to make fun of it, but, like...
Yeah, this is strange. Okay.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah. The animals are just dancing.
There's, like, chows, kind of, in this game, but they're little birds that are called Tims, and you feed them, like, these little, like, crystal droplets that you find around the levels.
Yeah.
And they follow you around while you're going through the level, and sometimes they bring you eggs, and I don't know what the eggs do, but you can gather eggs for with your Tims.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, this totally looks... This is very strange because it looks like a very thought out like engine demo. To me this looks like it's just demonstrating that a game engine can make a platformer. This is very strange to me. Yeah, everything seems very weird. Yes, there is certainly a train. This is like, I don't want to say surreal because I think I don't want to say surreal, but this is very this is strange, perplexing, stands up to what you just described. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's certainly a game that will go on sale for very cheap, and
I can't wait.
It's gonna be that's something. Wow.
And it's Balan Wonderworld. Like, that is like Balan Wonderland just rolls right off the tongue. Yeah. But they had to be like, no, it's Balan Wonderworld. Yeah. Get it right. I had to say that to myself like 17 times last night, specifically because I didn't want to say it wrong on this podcast. I was like, no, it's Wonder World, not Wonderland, Wonder World. They made a whole new... They made a whole new dev studio for this.
Yeah, the company is called Balan Studio. Right? Yeah, like what is it about Balan that is... Oh, man.
It's fucking Balan! It's gonna bring you on a bout! You have to line up his shadow! You gotta line up his shadow!
It's the funny hat man, like...
It's so good. It's so good.
Alright.
It's so good. Thank you, Balan. Please bring me to the Wonder World one day. Oh my god.
Alright. Yeah, well that's certainly something.
Alright. Well, I guess that should do it for all that. How about we move on to questions?
Sure.
All right, if you want to send in a question, it's videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask. And you'll sound like these folks right here. Anonymous asks, Stadia is floundering, but hanging on. So is it possible for a game streaming service to both survive and be a profitable model?
I mean, survive, yes, right? Because Stadia is around still, right? But as to be profitable, it barely. It doesn't seem like anybody. Stadia doesn't seem to have achieved its goal in capturing people who just kind of want to play games and then stop playing games basically at will. Right? Like it still doesn't seem like people are still buying these new consoles. Mm-hmm. Right? So to me, it doesn't seem like it. It doesn't necessarily, I think it's demonstrated by now that it probably isn't going to catch on, to overtake like a new gen of consoles like we're seeing now. The best I think they could have relied on was what they had, which was that it was first released before before the new consoles came out, right? And people were probably fatigued over having to, at the end of the life cycle of that hardware, people were fatigued. They could, you could very easily imagine something, a modern computer outperforming a console on certain titles. But, I think it's, for it to be like, thriving is a tall order, I think.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what needs to happen is data caps need to be outlawed before something like that could even possibly be.
That's also
profitable.
True. For some people, it's just totally a non-question. Yeah.
It's it's tough right now for people to even think about doing something like this, and there's a lot of people that just want to be able to own their games. So
yeah, that I think is never going to go out of style to want the disc of your game.
Yeah.
So
it's weird. It's messed up. It's weird. I don't think it's going to work, and maybe that'll change in the future, but I don't think it'll be anytime soon.
Yeah. I definitely don't think it'll be in a large scale. Ironically, this exact same technology is what is making Marvel vs. Capcom 3 so popular in 2020, several years after it came out as a, newly released game. Mm-hmm. It is, the exact same sort of infrastructure. Just, plug into a cloud computer and play. But I think that demonstrates that the best reception it's getting is the UMVC3 revival in, as a concept. So I think, maybe in like niche scenarios, maybe it could be set up as something. It would be very niche because the only people who would be looking to play it are the Marvel community. I don't know. It would be very hard. I couldn't see a business running off of it, especially. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. Next question is from Introverts Guild, who asks, "What are you looking forward, especially to the most in Resident Evil Village?" I think all the Resident Evil 4 stuff. Anything that reminds me of RE4 is good in my book. So give me that, please.
I'm not a big Resident Evil fan. Especially with the new ones. I like, as I said before, I stayed away from 7 specifically because I get scared easily. But as a outsider, I think I am. We were joking about it before and stuff, and it's funny to the whole internet is horny for an 8-foot-tall vampire woman, so it's funny. But I am sort of interested in like what I really like. I do like sort of like campy horror sort of stuff like that. Like, and they this seems to be a Resident Evil spin on like campy horror with like vampires and werewolves and like some village off in the middle of nowhere. So considering it already has a very strange tone in this narrative from the limited amount of stuff we've seen, if there's going to be like, alternating between like a vampire sort of deal and then something else with werewolves, and then they're going to have to work in actual Resident Evil stuff presumably at some point. So I think that actually could be interesting, the dynamic of, it seems that this is it seems what they have so far is intentionally jarring. So I'm actually interested to see, what the full product comes out to be in terms of the tone of the narrative.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. That all sounds good. Harlequin Wheels asks, what is the best text that you get when you examine an item in an RPG, point-and-click game, or visual novel? I'll just say, like, all the stuff in Ace Attorney. Ace Attorney has the best examining dialogue because, you usually have a partner with you in that game. So it's really easy to bounce jokes off of them. I would say the best games for that are definitely the Ace Attorney Investigations games, because Edgeworth is very funny, and as is Gumshoe and Kay Faraday. They are just a very, very good, like, cast of characters, so, like, in those games, I feel bad when I find all the clues before I can examine everything. Because I want to read every single bit of dialogue, I want to see all the stuff that they say, I don't want to miss it. So if I complete a room before I have looked at everything, I get a little upset. I truly do. So, that is my answer.
I don't know. Text specifically in the context of like text when I'm examining stuff. I really, I'm not sure if we're talking about like straight up what is the best like wording that it can use like in terms of flavor text, but I think, so far I really like, basically, since that's a lot of your story exposition in Hades, the little like the shades, what they have to say, because they have their little quips about how they died and stuff, and then there are like those little orbs that you like examine, and then the narrator pulls back and kind of gives some grand explanation of what you're looking at, and then Zagreus kind of makes some snide comment at it. I like that a lot. Just both because of the characterization of everyone involved, and the fact that it's like it's an interesting way to tell a story. I like it, considering how the narrative of Hades is structured.
Sure. Yeah. All right. There is something that I forgot that we were supposed to talk about.
Oh, okay.
We were supposed to talk about it last week, and then, things happened, but I guess it's time. We got a lot of questions about this. Mm-hmm. I have to talk about my dream that I had last week.
Okay.
I have to talk about Gonzo Cup.
Huh?
So, I had a dream where I was at a party, like a house party.
Yes.
And I was sitting on a couch. And some people enter the room, and they had, like, some animals with them. Like, I guess it was some sort of, like, bring your animal to the party.
Okay, yes.
So some people had cats, some people had dogs.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, pets. But one person had a creature that was immediately brought attention to, because as the creature dragged itself into the room, someone casually, but like a little excited, like not like, oh my god, but like, oh, that's cool. They went, oh, you brought Gonzo Cup. And I look down and I see it, and it is... So, I'm going to explain to you the entire process of what Gonzo Cup is. So Gonzo Cup is a sippy cup. It looks like a sippy cup. Mm-hmm. It moves like an inchworm. Its head is Gonzo... like it's a sippy cup top, but with Gonzo's eyes and like, you know, head
Like
area.
the Muppet.
The Muppet. Yes,
Yeah.
the Muppet.
Okay.
And his nose, but they like snipped the nose off halfway, and that's where the sippy cup part is. Like that's where you would drink out of.
Okay.
And
yeah, all right.
it was dragging itself. It was about the size of a cat, I would say, and it was inching towards around where I was. So I look down at it, and I go to pet Gonzo Cup because I want to touch this animal.
Yes.
Which again, it's an animal. I reach down and I start to pet it, and there's its body, like the actual cup, feels like you know that kinetic sand that's at like the mall.
Yes. Yeah.
You know how they have like a foam version of that? It's more like a foam than the sand.
Oh,
it's a little harder, but it still has like that give, and you can still like meld it.
Yeah, Floam or whatever I think is what
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Its body was pretty much made of that. And there was nothing inside of it. There was no bones, there was no organs, and there was no drink. It did not have a drink inside of it. And I pet it a little bit, and then for some reason I picked it up and I put it down on its back so I could try to rub its belly. And Gonzo Cup didn't like that, and it like struggled to get up, and then it like hopped off the couch and like got away from me. And so I dreamt of that, and so Gonzo Cup was a thing that I put out into the world. I lost an entire day to that. I could not stop thinking about Gonzo Cup the entire day. I couldn't focus on anything else.
That's incredible.
So, I don't know if folks want to... There is already Gonzo Cup fan art out there. There is a drawing of Gonzo Cup, but I guess if more folks want to draw their own Gonzo Cups, they are more than free to do so. I don't know. I don't know what happened to me that made me think of that.
Was it a question?
So most of these questions are just like talk about Gonzo Cup. Gonzo Cup.
All right.
Scott did send in a question about Gonzo Cup. He asks, what would you drink out of Gonzo Cup?
Nothing.
You wouldn't drink from him?
No.
Just no.
No, you can't drink from an animal.
I mean, it's a cup.
But it's a living being. No.
But it is a cup.
Sure, it's cup shaped, but it's a thing. It's a species of animal.
Species of animal.
It's a new genus of animal.
So you think it would be morally incorrect?
I think it would be. I think it would be morally reprehensible and probably unethical to drink from Gonzo Cup. Yes.
Okay, I respect that. I think I would want to drink Baja Blast out of Gonzo Cup.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's what I was prepared for. Oh my gosh. All right, yeah, I didn't realize that. Interesting. Okay, there is a fandom around this creature now. Very cool. Maybe it will make an appearance in Balan Wonderland or something. Maybe we can get a petition for that. Balan Corp,
the Gonzo Cup costume.
Yes, Balan Corp, please. We need you to put a new type of animal into your game. It's called Gonzo Cup. We think it would be a good fit. Wow.
Oh, God.
That is incredible.
Thank you. We do have one more question, and it is from Solon, who asks, now that Game of the Year is pretty much over for 2020, what games did you see on other Choocher's Game of the Year lists that you want to try in the new year?
Final Fantasy VII Remake absolutely has been on my list for forever, and hearing everyone talk about it has only made me want to play it more. So,
okay. I might just... I think I might give up eventually and just actually play Hades. Like, folks have been talking it up so much. I haven't played it yet. I'm just... I really don't like... I don't like roguelikes. I don't like games that have that, like, pulled out camera like that.
I don't either, but it was, I don't know, it's cool. Like, I saw isometric and I was like, this is not going to be really fun. Cool. And then I played it and I was like, wow. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, you never know.
Yeah. Next time it's on sale, maybe I'll pick it up. Alright. Well, I guess that does it for this week's show. Tristan, if you, if I guess you do have an announcement to make to folks, though. You have the floor.
Okay, yeah. This sort of Game of the Year event was probably my last like work as part of Video Game Choo Choo. I'm going to be moving over to a new website called toptier.gg, and I'm going to talk about fighting game news and content over there. It's somewhere that I've wanted to be for quite a while because I've been a huge fan of what they've done for the community in general. I had an opportunity to I had an opportunity to go over there and write for them, so I had to take it. It was it's something I'm really excited for, it's a big, I think it's something I'm totally excited for a lot of reasons, but I've really been liking what Top Tier has been doing for the FGC, serving as like a sort of like a platform to have interesting sort of discussions about fighting games in article form, and I've just always liked the content, and I'm really glad to be part of that team now. So I'll be over there writing at toptier.gg. It's been a really good time writing at Chooch. I don't know if I would have enjoyed, I don't know if I would have found out how much I really love writing and talking about games if it weren't for Chooch. This was the first opportunity I had, so it was great. Like, I've had a lot of fun working with everybody. I've had a lot of fun thinking about, just thinking through what I want to write about, what I want to talk about, and getting it out to all of you. So it's been really fun. I really enjoyed it here, and I'm looking forward to what I can do in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're more than welcome to come hang out whenever. We've got a seat open for you anytime. If you just want to come talk shit on here, or do streams or whatever the hell, you're always welcome. But no, it's fantastic. It's great news that you're moving on to work somewhere that we're really gunning for. That is incredible. So, thank you for your work, Tristan. It's great working with you, and I'm sure that you'll do fantastic stuff over at toptier.gg. But for the rest of us, we are continuing to do all of our stuff on this site. That's not 100% true because he couldn't make it on this show. But he's also going to be announcing it pretty much right after Game of the Year as well, that Niall is also leaving the site. We got 2 people leaving. They're sick of our shit, so they gotta get going. No. Niall's been so busy with the movie podcast and with some other stuff that it makes sense. But he's done so much for us over the years. He's been around for like 5 or 6 years working with us, editing the podcast, and, you know, he's been a great friend all these years as well, and he's going to continue to be a great friend, and there's, you know, it's gonna be weird without him, you know? But, God, it was just so great working with Niall, and, you know, nobody's gonna be able to really replace him, but, you know, nobody's gonna be really able to replace you either, Tristan. Like, whenever someone leaves, it is, you know, we usually try to find some new folks, and we have good times with them, but, you know, Chooch is a really wild thing, and, you know, the memories we share will stay forever.
That's true.
So thank you, Tristan, for all your hard work. Thank you, Niall, for, like, editing probably, like, 500 hours of podcasts over the years.
Yeah.
It's been a real delight working with both of you. Thank you so much. So I guess we'll wrap up here. I'll give you all a heads up. Not this next episode, but the episode after. So 2 weeks from now will be the release of the next episode 69, episode 69.5. And so for those of you that aren't familiar with how those work, instead of answering regular questions, we answer questions about love and sex. So everyone send in your questions, and the least prepared people in the entire world to answer questions about romance or sexuality will answer your questions. Please don't take anything that we answer to heart, because, again, we're not experts. We're all a bunch of dumbasses who play video games all day. But by God, will we try to help you out with your love and sex problems. So, you know, feel free to send in questions for that now. We will have an episode between them. So, you know, we still want some video game questions for next week. But the week after, it will be time once again. So get those questions in.
Excellent.
I'm scared.
Yeah, wow. I didn't
scared.
know that.
It's always a real event.
I was not aware of the episode 69. So okay, yeah, you got some more.
You're getting out of here. Do not want to be involved with this. I get it. Yeah, please follow us on Twitter at VGCC, our Tumblr, videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com. We have our YouTube channel, youtube.com. Search up Video Game Choo Choo. It'll be right there. We have a Facebook page. We have, I don't know, Twitch, twitch.tv/VGCC. We haven't done anything on there in a long time. I don't know. Maybe we'll do something on there. We have a Discord server, thegamezone.zone. You type that into your web browser and it'll bring you straight there. You can hang out with us. We can play games. We can play, I don't know, orange juice, fighting games, board game online, or not board game online, that's that weird board game website thing, tabletop simulator, all kinds of stuff you can do. Just come hang out. You can talk about bullshit, anime, music, games, video games. You can talk about video games on there. What?
Wow.
What a concept.
What a concept, absolutely.
And, please, if you want to support us, it's $3 at patreon.com/VGCC, where you can get new episodes of Chuchigatru Unlimited Train Works, our anime podcast, a whole week early. So that's $1.50 per episode to get it a week early. I'd say that's a deal. And also thank you to Melt Channel /Magic Circuit for our theme song Crush off of the album Magic Surreal. If you want to listen to their stuff, it's meltchannel.bandcamp.com or magic-circuit.bandcamp.com. Buy their stuff during Bandcamp Friday. I think that's actually next Friday. So, buy their stuff next week. Next Friday. Or I guess this upcoming Friday would be what I would say, because you're listening to it on Sunday. So this upcoming Friday is Bandcamp Friday. Buy it then. Support them then. Give them all the money. And, Yeah, Tristan, we can find you on toptier.gg.
Yep, I will be there.
All right,
And
and
I've
you can
actually.
find... Oh, go ahead.
I've actually already posted one article up there, and I'm looking forward to more. So yeah.
There you go. Good job. Good shit. And you can find me at JOHN_MICHONSKI. And that's it. That's it.
All right.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode of the Video Game Choo Choo Podcast. So long.
Goodbye.